Get this man some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.
All right, welcome back. We're limbering up, stretching out. It's been a long time since we've been with you. Time and, circumstances and illness all conspiring to take us out, But Sean, I want to start off right away.
Okay.
Tom Dundon has officially taken over the Blazers, and I won't tip my hand to tell you my opinion of this, except that I have a new nickname for him. It's going to be Tom Dun Dun Dun.
Oh,
Dun.
man.
Okay?
Yeah. All right.
Tom Dun Dun Dun.
Okay.
Because, anyway, so what do you think about him? What was your first impressions?
I don't want to turn this into a different kind of show, but I think it's easy to kind of step into a situation and be like, well, we would have done this better, and we're going to do this better, and we're going to do this better, and of course you are. But let's see what actually happens. He didn't come in and immediately fire everyone, which I guess is a good sign, all things considered, and it seems like we're well on the way to gifting that outfit, but $650 million for general stadium purposes. So I mean, I would be pretty happy.
Yeah. Nothing out of my book, yeah.
First day on the job, someone was like, oh, by the way, here's your $650 million. Cool.
And I'm about to get like a sweet check from two expansion teams.
Right, exactly.
Directly into my account.
It's all looking pretty good if you're kind of sitting in his seat, I would imagine. So you don't have to make rash decisions. But I mean, I think that he said exactly what I expected him to say is, those are new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
But we'll see. See.
The thing that bothered me about him, and not bothered me in the way that I have like some sort of like personal like dislike toward the man or something like that.
Right.
I may have developed that. I hold the privilege of doing that. But the thing that he said that kind of like I was kind of like, what? He said that thing about very few people are good at multiple things, but but thanks that I'm really good at business, which is all things. Mm-hmm. So, you sort of reverse engineer that statement. And he's like saying I'm God, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm an exceptional. You're in good hands, folks. I'm an exceptional human being. Yeah. There's a show on Amazon called The Boys that's kind of about a guy kind of like that, except who has actual superpowers. But just anyway. People can connect those dots on their own.
Right. And he said, we've been sort of like prioritizing like asset accumulation, which is, he said it in this kind of backhanded way where he's like, which was probably the right thing to do. But now that we're going to really make some moves. And
we're going to do like, real stuff now.
Yeah. And he's like, during the deadline, we had an interesting deal that they turned down, but he was implying basically there was a big deal on the table that he would have done.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, look at the Suns. Sir, look at the Suns. Now, granted, the Suns have backed their way ass first into relevance somehow, but they like emptied their cupboard to get like Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and just they are back in time a little bit with this Devin Booker show, and I'm just worried that this is sort of foretelling a similar sort of thing where we're gonna give up some interesting stuff to try to get Giannis.
Well, listen, the Suns' ownership, what's his name, Matt
Ishbia, yeah, Matt Ishbia.
Yeah. Having Kevin Durant is a great way to hedge a bet.
Yeah, sure.
What I mean, like Kevin Durant is someone who's always going to draw interest. You're always going to be able to get something out. You're always going to be able to get enough out of a Kevin Durant that you can sort of offset a Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be that counterbalance there. So I mean they took a home run swing on an asset that's a relatively decent asset.
Yeah.
We didn't have that luxury, and I do think it's kind of shitty to be like, well, I would have done it, but you didn't have to sort of pull the team literally, like they were still trying to pull the team out of the Allen Crabbe deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were sort of undigging themselves from a decade-long generational hole.
Yeah.
And to kind of come in and be like, okay.
It's like coming home and being like, why telling the guy who's been handcuffed and a kidnap victim, why isn't the house clean? You're like, well, I was getting the handcuffs off. Like,
exactly. Like, give us a little bit of a break, I think. And the thing about it is they have set him up to have, I mean, a pretty good. He's not playing a terrible hand. Like, it's not like he walked into the Sacramento Kings or the Chicago Bulls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've got some things. We've made it possible for this new ownership group to actually do some stuff. Which, if they'd have took over 3 years ago, it was not the case. So yeah, I mean, like, the thing about, I was thinking about this. I saw him, this Dundon guy, and then I also saw an interview with the guy who's one of the sort of minority owners.
Shield?
Tech guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
this guy's 34 years old. He's a baby.
So and there you have it. So this guy, it was just, he's kind of like the dorky guy in the computer class you have to take as an elective credit to graduate high school. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a dork. Yeah. And also, he's a young dork. He's not even like our age dork. He's like a young dork. And so to sit here with this guy who's 34, he's basically still a tall baby. You know, and he's done well for himself. And believe it or not, I actually don't begrudge people for, you know, doing well. It's not a jealousy thing. But to just have this sort of young dweeb sitting there waxing poetic about what the Blazers should be and need to be.
Well, and
just,
you know,
like, were you even alive for Clyde Drexler and Terry Porter, young man? Well, what are you even talking about here? Like,
it's not like the fan base or the media are making up the narrative that the Blazers could one day leave Portland. That's a real thing.
A real thing.
It's been in the water for a long ass time.
Yeah.
So the way that this, you know, first of all, you have Tom kind of being like offended that he's getting asked these questions. He's like, we don't know each other yet. Like, let's have a really. And it's like, dude, no, of course, like, any journalist person worth their salt is going to be asking these questions.
Yeah.
And then you have Shield, the minority owner, being like, the reason I was brought in is because I'm Portland and I want to stay. It's like, dude, you've been here for 2 years. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't necessarily trust that you're going to like keep the team here. Like, it's a valid question, and you know, Shield kind of got like his feelings hurt by the question. Yeah. And Tom got offended by the question.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. And you know, I do think, you know, because of the state of limbo the team was in terms of ownership, that they were playing a little cautiously.
Yeah.
You know, every trade deadline that since this podcast has been alive, we've been speculating, you know, oh, something could happen, and then nothing happens. Yeah. So I understand the appeal of somebody who's going to come in and actually pull the trigger on some stuff. My worry was that he's going to come in and be like, I'm the smartest guy in the room, and I'm seeing some market inefficiencies. And
100%, that's him. I think the world has had enough of dweeby tech guys making big decisions for other people. But that, again, is probably a whole different podcast.
Well, and I think he made his fortune doing some like predatory loan stuff. And I think the state of Oregon was like suing him at some point. So it's, you know, it's an interesting, interesting situation.
That coming full circle. Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, my hope is that they keep Joe as the general manager. I think he's, you know, like I said, he's put them in a very good position. He's done it quietly, and he's done it kind of behind the scenes, and
he's done it responsibly. You know, and
very patient.
Yeah, very patient.
And it would be nice to see him kind of
like
follow
we
through
often
with it.
say, Joe is the guy who can outweight a Comcast hold.
100%.
He can be on that line with that.
I told you, I literally almost ran into him at the Blazer game I went to against the Knicks.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's massive.
Oh,
he's
sure.
Huge. He's like 6'8". He's a gigantic guy. Yeah, like we were gonna walk through the concourse, and like literally, like he kind of was right in front of me, almost bumped into. I look up, which I'm not accustomed to doing to many people. Be like, oh hey,
Oh,
I was gonna invite him, but I figured, you want come on this podcast?
Yeah, come on the pod, Joe.
Yeah, come on the pod,
Come on
Joe.
the pod.
We're a very Joe friendly podcast.
We love Joe. All right, so
but I don't know what that means for Tiago. I thought Tiago has done a great job.
I mean, honestly, like
they're going to bring in the most ridiculous coach. I just have a feeling it's going to be.
I do think that like the silver lining to this sort of like I'm the new sheriff and da 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 kind of thing is you know, that tends to be let me find an established let me find a brand name, let me find something that's going to like get people, you know, butts in the seats and stuff. So
it's going to be like Rick Pitino or something, and it's going to go absolutely apoplectic. It's going to be the greatest episode of the show we ever had.
Honestly, the podcast is going to be disbanded if at the end of the summer we have Giannis and Doc Rivers. because I guarantee that's like a super sexy choice. Like, it's
Yeah,
like, we're gonna bring in Doc, and we got it.
Listen,
we got Giannis.
If we bring in Doc Rivers, I just have to wait for the Sonics to come back.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
I know.
bring back Chauncey. Let's see what his trial is like. Let's bring in Doc Rivers in there.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Blazers, so I'm going to go off a little tangent here, and I'll come back.
Okay.
Do you watch the Mariners at all?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. So they have a player on their team called Josh Naylor, and he is a really fun player to watch. But he sort of wears baseball helmets that seem like maybe they're one size too big.
Mm-hmm.
And he really swings for the ball, and he'll swing really hard. And sometimes he'll miss really hard. And then his helmet sort of twists like around his head a little bit.
Very charming.
It makes him look just like ridiculous. Like, it's just like if you were going to let me do a meme for a guy like looking like an idiot swinging a bat, which is like really charming and sweet and everything like that. But it's like, well, you really wanted to win there. And it's like, whoa, and he ends up in this like twisted. That's what I feel like the most recent games for the Blazers have been. It's like, we really want to win. It's like, and the helmet's sideways, and the Spurs are laughing at us, and then Denver gets us in the last minute. But that being said, I do feel like there's something sort of cooking right now, and we're staying in games with quality teams. I mean, granted, San Antonio was missing Victor and Stephon Castle. And granted, we ended up losing that Denver Nuggets game.
Listen,
we played real teams.
We played Denver tough. Listen, Denver was at basically full strength, and Jokic is on another sort of MVP run. I guess maybe he doesn't qualify now because he missed the games or whatever. But like, he's at the sort of peak of his MVP stretch. I mean, he is playing crazy, and Jamal Murray's had a great game. It wasn't like the Nuggets were having a bad game. You know what I mean? And we hung with them. We took them to overtime. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
The Spurs thing, I believe in the Spurs. They are like the Babadook of the NBA. I don't.
What's
Babadook? It's like a horror movie thing.
Okay.
I guess it doesn't matter who you have in a Spurs uniform. If the Spurs are playing, they're going to be tough. And it doesn't really matter who's for them. Like, they clearly weren't at their full power with Wemby and Stephen Castle, but they're still a good team even without them. You know what I mean? I mean, I know that, like, the announcers, this is a golden opportunity, and sure. I mean, they probably should have won that game against the Spurs. Okay, fine. But you're definitely seeing some things happen.
Yeah,
you're definitely seeing a very confident Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, should be getting more shots. I think he only took like 6 shots against the Spurs, which is stupid.
Yeah.
To not get him more.
I don't think that's necessarily the scheme's fault, honestly. I think he is a little deferential in that. And
he is, and when you're playing with like Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday, like, I can understand.
But he's not playing with Jeremy Grant.
Well, I guess not Jeremy Grant, but I'm just saying over the course of the season.
Like
when you spend 50 games playing behind those guys, and also, like, he really wasn't the closer up until very recently. Like, they were sitting him out the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. So I mean, I understand. I'm just saying that I think he has reached a level of competence and a level of competency where he should be more aggressive.
Yeah.
I still don't think he's going to be a dominant low post one-on-one player quite yet.
Right.
But, it's like the finishing. But I think that they could utilize him a little bit more, especially when he's playing Kelly Olynyk. Nothing against Kelly Olynyk, but I mean, there's some stuff you can do.
Is Kelly Olynyk like one of the most unlikely 15-year NBA players? Like, I just can't believe that guy's still playing.
Who's the old wrestler, like The Undertaker? Like, they'd be in the ring and they'd have him on the ground and like he's dead to rights, and all of a sudden he'd just sit up. That's Kelly Olynyk's entire career. Like, this guy is just nothing. He's done. He's done. Here I come. I'm back. I mean, Scoot is becoming a legitimate NBA player. And I know that we're still kind of up and down, but he had 20 and 7 with 1 or 2 turnovers. Like, that's legit NBA, and he was aggressive and he was taking good shots. He missed some easy shots, but he was taking good shots. He was making good decisions. So I think that, like, we're starting to see that shift.
Yeah.
Where, the last 5 minutes of the game is not just Drew Holiday just freestyling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of the other guys are getting involved. Tumani Kamara is on the ascent as an offensive player. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm watching the games, and I'm like, they're close games, and the Blazers are missing people, and they're still playing tough, and they're figuring things out. And the sort of guys we've been talking about all year long, I'd love to see more of this guy. I'd love to see more of it. You're starting to see him kind of move into these leading roles, and that's great.
Yeah, watching that Spurs game, I was sort of drafting a text to you about how many Spurs players playing in that game would you take before you took Scoot? And
I was
yes.
I sort
of trashed that draft after I looked up some of the stats, because Carter Bryant looked incredible. And then you look at his season-long stats, and he's shooting like 33% from three. Like, he's not the 3-and-D guy that he was in that game. And you start to realize, like, that game was probably gettable if their role players didn't just start going absolutely bananas. And Scoot. So I don't know if this morning while we took my son in for this like sleep test thing, and so I was awake at 4 a.m. just like trying to keep him awake and all this stuff. It's crazy. But I was listening to Tim Legler talk about Scoot, and he was like, he had seen him for the first time in person, and he was raving about his speed and how but he said something really interesting, which is that Scoot didn't go to college and didn't come. And I don't know like where he's getting this from, but he said he didn't come from a ton of like a basketball system in high school, and so he says that a lot of his like playing instincts aren't natural yet, and he's learning some of that stuff. So like he'll find himself in the wrong position sometimes, or he won't know exactly what to do in a fluid way. But he was raving about his speed and his quickness, and he was talking about how like should he develop a little bit more elite finishing package and shooting, then it's like we're talking about something here. And it reminded me, Scoot's only 22 years old, and you watch that game, and in the Spurs game especially, because Dylan Harper seemed to take it a little personal, like wanted to kind of get into Scoot's jersey a little bit.
Yeah, they were definitely having a thing.
And I was encouraged. I mean, he had some ugly air balls and stuff, but I was encouraged to see him. I feel like you never have to worry about Scoot saying it with his whole chest, and I feel like he was kind of like he's getting to a place where earlier we were like, you have the yips, you have a lack, you have a shaky confidence thing, and now it's more like you're probably in the right spot confidence wise. And the Blazers are missing Shaedon Sharpe, which to do this seamless transition here, it looks like Shaedon Sharpe and Vit are going to come back tonight for this showdown with the Clippers. And I know the last time we talked, I was like, screw it, we're not making the playoffs. Like, I was like totally out. I'm like looking at draft stock.
Sure.
We have a legitimate shot if we beat the Clippers to make, we'll have two games to win one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's a bittersweet thing. I would very much like them to not, because I would like them to get one more draft pick.
Yeah.
And this is going to be, I think it's a general consensus that it's going to be a draft full of talented players. We're not just talking like last year. It was like 1, 2, and 3, and then Yang Hansen at 15 or wherever he went. You know what I mean? I was thinking the same thing about watching Carter Bryant, and I was high on him before the draft, and I still think again, a guy who's not going to do much this year, maybe not even next year, but he's got a future. Is like you saw he had a breakout game against the Blazers. Whereas, I still believe in Young. I know he's behind that curve. Like his curve, it's going to take him a little bit longer. But yeah, like watching Carter Bryant go at 4 for 6 from 3 in the first half, and looking at our guy Young on the bench, just kind of like, like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, all right, Scoot is a legitimate player, and I think dropping Shaedon into this mix right now, and he's probably not going to play a lot tonight. I imagine he's got a lot of rust to brush off. But I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, right? Like waiting for our guys to get into like real game time situations. So yeah, I'm excited. And one of the things that San Antonio game, really what killed the Blazers was they had no offense off the bench.
Yeah,
I think there's like 13 or 14 bench points. Like no one on the bench right now can hit a shot.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, we can't shoot the ball.
No.
Like when Drew Holiday is the shooter you trust the most on your team, That's not a good thing. Like
The
Drew's
thing
a
about
good
it-
shooter in spurts, but like
Right.
we brought in Vit to be that guy, and Vit has not been that guy.
He has not been hitting his shots. And the thing about it's so weird to me because it almost seems like, and maybe this will be like was it Tom Haberstroh stat of the night thing.
By the way, we need to talk about the Habestrats because
Well,
it's getting out of control.
It's really, they're doing their best, but yes, I will have that conversation. But it seems to me both Jrue Holiday and Jeremy Grant have an amazing percentage from, oh shit, don't take that shot. Oh no, please don't take that.
Yeah.
But are sort of average to below average on, oh, that's a gimme shot. You know what I mean? Like if Jrue Holiday did nothing but take sort of one-legged fadeaway threes with a half second left on the shot clock, he'd probably be like 60%. You know what I mean? Jeremy Grant, that thing he does where he catches the ball kind of up here and just doesn't dip, just kind of pop. I mean, that's incredible. Like he hits that at a crazy rate, but the sort of like wide open, you've got time to get your feet set, give me threes. Well, that's a real roller coaster there.
That's a great point. Like it would be interesting to know, like, does Jeremy Grant shoot better when he ends up on the ground?
Well, and that's another thing, the sort of like the accuracy with contact.
Yeah.
I know for a while he was leading the league in 4-point plays, and I don't know if he still is with, but I mean, it's uncanny. If you get a hand, it's like our guy Andy. You get a hand on that ball when Andy's shooting.
Do not touch the ball.
Yes,
keep your hands away
you
from the ball.
You got to keep your hands. You think it's block? It's an assist.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant's the same way. You're going to foul Jeremy Grant on a 3-point shot. That thing is going in. Like it's a heat-seeking missile.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, just to circle back to one thing you said about the Carter Bryant thing. You watch Carter Bryant doing all this stuff, and then you look over at the bench, and there's Young, like you said, with that. And the Young thing, I think during the summer league, we were all like, "Wait a second, hold my beer." When it was drafted, we're like project. Then he had that summer league, and we're like, "Wait a second."
Yeah.
But just the fact, like watching Donovan Clingan's ascent from looking frankly too slow to be on an NBA court in his first season to what he is now. And the same thing I think you're starting to see with Young is when he's in the game, like he'll miss every single shot and he'll probably get like dunked on or something. Cause like offers zero resistance at the rim. Like I have never seen a guy bigger affect less shots. He had a block the other night, like I don't know, 3 or 4 games ago, where I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, and it was like it was almost like the players like gave him the ball, and he was like, "Oh, thank you!" Like that's a block. Like my son plays NBA 2K on my phone sometimes, and he averages like 30 points and like 7 steals, and he's had a total career of 7 rebounds because he's just not interested in playing basketball, right? Like rebounding. As I feel like Hansen, like if it was up to him, he would just like sit at the top and just dish like big like lead passes.
So the thing about it is, and this is, I mean, I think I heard this for the first time in the late 90s maybe, where if you can't play defense with your feet, you start playing it with your hands. Yes. And I think that's part of his problem is he's so slow. He's just kind of, he reaches out and he grabs people. You know what I mean? It always becomes just like this WWE match because his feet just aren't quick enough yet. Clingan had the same thing. Like Clingan was absolutely the same way. I think Clingan's natural defensive instincts are a whole 4 degrees higher than Yang. But I mean, he'll get there. Like I said, was he 19?
Yeah, he's a baby.
He's a baby.
One of my favorite.
Fact that because when he plays in the G League, like he shows out, like he does. Like he's slow, but he's got the natural talent. He's got the offensive instincts. He's got the IQ. He's just got to lose a little baby fat, get his footwork, and he'll be. But he is, like I said, I looked at Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant looked like an NBA player. Young still does not look like an NBA player.
No.
So there's a little bit of a, but maybe in 2 or 3 years, we could be saying, man, I'm so glad we didn't take Carter Bryant. Like, no disrespect.
That's the thing. I mean, like,
he's a solid 3-and-D dude, but we got Young out here doing, Yeah,
the Spurs had Jeremy Sohan. We all loved him, and he was waived, and there's these players that, I think like the difference between like a contributor and a player who's like bouncing around on the waiver wires is like so razor thin.
Yeah.
But anyway, and like the Young thing is like, at some point you do have to draft players that can contribute right away. Like we draft these players who it's like in 2 years, hold on. But right now you're starting to see some of that stuff come together with all this, like they're I don't know. This for some reason sounds gross, but they're all ripening at the same time.
Yeah, it does sound very gross. That actually sounds like something Tom Dun 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 would say.
Dun dun dun.
They're ripening. Yes.
He's like Emperor Palpatine.
Yes.
He does sort of have like a Palpatine kind of visage.
A little bit.
It doesn't help that in Portland right now there's like 100,000 pollen parts per square inch of air.
No.
You're like breathing in like basic like it's so bad.
I've got
right
it in
now.
the oxygen tank off
You
camera.
need it. Yeah,
I
you
just
need
don't.
it. Okay, so
whatever the all-day version of the sleep apnea machine is, that's what I got going on here.
So Deni has been his usual Deni self.
Sure.
I've heard some rumbling on the interwebs that perhaps Deni is not a clutch player. You watch him in some of these games. Now I don't agree with this, but I'm gonna kind of state the devil. What is it? The devil's case. What do they call it?
Advocate.
Devil's advocate.
Sure.
I'm gonna advocate for the devil. He tends to miss free throws.
Yeah.
In the ends of games. And I don't have any stats for this. This is just like totally like anecdotal, but like when I'm watching him in the final like 3 minutes of a game with if anything's on the line, I don't trust that he's going to make 2 free throws when he goes to the line. He has sort of one mode, which is like drive into your chest.
Yeah.
And so in that way it can be a little predictable. And I don't think he necessarily has like a step back jumper.
No.
So prove me wrong. Again, I don't believe this.
I do think that his sort of one-on-one package is not great in terms of like your Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders, your James Hardens, where you can kind of create your own. Like if you've got 6 seconds left and you get the ball, you're not passing it. You got to make something happen. His go-to move is get to the hoop and initiate as much contact as humanly possible and see what happens. And I think that that's not a bad strategy when you get to, it's kind of like with Scoot. As many struggles as he's had, the one thing he has never struggled with is getting where he wants to go. You've never, he can't beat this guy or he can't get to this spot. He can do all that when he wants to. It's just the finishing part. Then he's kind of the same way. When he wants to get downhill, it's rare that you see him not be able to, get downhill. If he gets that angle, he gets that shoulder, that's where he's going. So is he going to be like a James Harden clutch player? No, he does. Right now he does not have the skill set. But if you got 6 seconds left and you're down by 2 and so yeah, I think that for a lot of scenarios, he's got enough clutch in him to get to where he wants to go and draw the foul. Will he hit the free throw shots? He gets a little yippy. He gets a little bit yippy.
Here's my take.
But go ahead. One thing.
Finish, yeah.
The Blazers' strategy throughout the season, in the final 2 or 3 minutes of the game, has not been go to Deni though. It has been Drew and Jeremy Grant make something happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they start taking crazy shots in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And so, yeah, you got your all-star player, but you're not giving him, you're not, handing him the reins to be that clutch guy, because you got 2 clutch guys already who are kind of helping themselves to make
I guess they're clutch.
Well, I mean, they want to be.
I know.
And it seems like the coaching staff definitely wants them to be.
I can tell, like if I was an opposing coach, I'd just be like, look at Drew Holiday's hair. If it starts to bounce a lot,
sure,
he's going to take it.
Yeah,
he's going to take the shot.
It's like the old game Mike Tyson's Punch Out. When you're fighting Piston Honda and he kind of winks before he goes for the knockout blow. That's kind of what Drew's hair is like. Yeah,
yeah. I don't think it's a question of clutch or not. I think Deni's fucking tired. So tired by the end. We make him do everything for so long. The whole game, he's running 100 miles an hour because he can't get help.
Yeah.
And because nobody can make a shot.
Yeah. He hits the ground as much as any other player in the
NBA. He's constantly picking himself up off the floor. He's tired. Yeah. Next year, can you imagine him kicking the ball out to the reigning 3-point champion? Like one of the best the league's ever seen? he's not gonna like. This is exactly where you want your guy to be.
Right.
He. It's not a question of clutch or not.
Yeah.
It's like he is proving to himself to be one of the elite, an all-star player, legitimate all-star.
Yep.
And he's tired.
Yeah.
He needs help.
Yeah, well, I think that, and you could say the same for Tumani. He also gets a little bit sluggish those last 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
I'll tell you what,
they're both just running marathons all game long.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the fact that he believes in himself, and the coaching staff has obviously like given him the reins to shoot the three, and he's shooting at a relatively high clip, like 37% or something. There's just like, do you feel like he's going to make it when he shoots?
I'm always a little bit concerned. My concern is the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If he makes a couple in the first 3 minutes, I feel good. If he misses his first couple, we may be in some trouble. I do think though I think that he is kind of understanding that his window, because he's such a maniac on defense, that his offensive window really is kind of a first half thing. Well, because he's still got his legs under him. Yeah. And because he takes fewer shots in the second half is what I've kind of been seeing. Yeah. And I think that a lot of that is he's realized I'm too gassed.
I'm tired.
Just by the end of the game, I'm just too gassed to be a super efficient, 3-point shooter, or maybe that, that head fake drive. My legs might not be there for me. You know what I mean? Right. So I've noticed that past couple weeks, like he goes quick start and then kind of tapers off, and I don't think that's a bad strategy, to be honest with you. I think go while you're feeling good, and then let the other guys kind of get involved, and you kind of settle back into the defensive role in the second half.
Who's shooting better this year from three, Shaedon or Tumani?
Tumani. Has to be.
Yeah, but it surprised me. I don't know. I just feel like but there's probably a whole lot of wrinkles in this in terms of Shaedon. His role is to shoot more in late game situations and in harder situations, whereas Tumani.
And quite honestly, Shaedon's really not burning a lot of calories playing defense.
Well, that is offensive, Sean.
But that's not wrong. He's gotten better. He's doing better. But I mean, let's keep it 100%. And that's kind of the Dane thing. Like, I didn't get paid $500 million to play defense. You know what I mean?
I'm not getting a statue because of my defense.
Exactly. That's okay.
Did you see
as long
Tumani,
as you know who you are.
Did you see Tumani poke the ball out of De'Aaron Fox's hands and just go and take the ball from him? And
the guy one thing. Yeah. That we got to talk about. That really, it's been happening all season, but it happened a couple times, maybe 3 or 4 times in the San Antonio game, and there's a couple of them. Donovan Clingan, Deni Avdija, sometimes Tumani, though Tumani sort of rebounds quicker. But this thing where they go to the hole and they get fouled, or they think they get fouled, and they don't get the call, and they immediately turn around and start doing this while the other team is inbounding the ball.
Yeah.
Donovan Clingan got beat by Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
You should never get beat by Luke Cornett.
Yeah.
You should never. There's no, goes to the hole, puts up the shot, doesn't get the call, turns around, looks at the ref, doing this kind of thing, going to the bench. Luke Cornett goes dead sprint, which for Luke Cornett is like 3.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The little engine who could, he's chugging, his hair is blowing in the wind. This guy is barely moving, but he looks like and he goes all the way down the court and gets just the easiest lay-in with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Almost threw something at the TV.
Yeah.
And I do think that's a Deni thing, and I think a lot of the guys sort of emulate Deni, because anytime Deni gets misses a shot, he's immediately turning around looking for a foul. And he draws a lot of contact. I'm not, but boy, you don't do that while the game's still going.
Also, you don't have the capacity to stop the
exactly.
That's not even physically. It wasn't even a possible thing to do.
Everyone's watching. Everyone sees the same thing you're seeing. It's not like everyone had their head down and was looking at their phones when the play happened. If there's a challenge to be made, the coaches will take care of it. You don't have to let them know.
I love the thing I've heard from a few people where they should change the rule that if anybody on your team does it, it just automatically does it.
You forfeit it.
You just it's like okay, you did it.
Okay. Well,
so now it's in.
Done. Yeah. There'd be no challenges left.
That's like one of the most basic things. Like when I was coaching my third graders this year, was like, just run back, let the refs make the call. Like right now in baseball, I'm coaching baseball, and like you don't stop running until it's called a foul. Even if you think it's a foul, you still run through first base because it might stay fair. You never know. You got to get back with Luke Cornett.
They're very
Luke Cornett was probably drafting his next article in the Players Tribune.
100%. And he probably couldn't believe it. I mean, he's just running. You know, it's like that scene, like in the Matrix movies where the guy is moving so fast, everyone else is just kind of like barely moving. With Luke Cornett, his whole world is the opposite of that. He's just sort of barely moving, and everyone else is just zipping by him all the time, except for that one play where he was able to go coast to coast and beat Donovan Clingan. When we play, and I like we have visions of ourselves, maybe are not necessarily reality, but I like to think I don't go Coach Sean too often in the 40 and over pickup games. One thing that will absolutely get Coach Sean is not getting back on defense.
Well, our good friend, the other Tim, if he makes a mistake on or something, he misses the lane, he'll just stop.
Yeah, just kind of stop and be like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" He's not appealing to the entire power. He's just kind of beating himself up a little bit. Yeah. But no, there have been times where I wanted to grab him. Just go.
Oh, doesn't matter.
I just can't imagine one of my kids if I was coaching and they started complaining to the ref and gave up a basket. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't take them out.
No, that's true.
There's league policy.
There is. Yeah.
You have to play the whole first quarter with them in it. Anyway, so we'll wrap this up. They got the Clippers in a few mere hours. Who do you have winning this game?
That's tough. The thing about it is that the Clippers, it turns out, despite some early reporting, that Kawhi Leonard is very good at basketball.
Very good.
He's a very, very good basketball player.
Yeah.
And Tyronn Lue is a very good coach. Tyronn Lue is who Doc Rivers thinks he is, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm we'll see. I think a lot of it depends on if we can get a little help from Shaedon and Vit off the bench. We might have a shot at it. If we get Klingan a little more involved a little earlier,
because they're small. The Clippers are small.
Clippers, they play pretty small, and we got a size advantage, I think. But I would really like that draft pick. I would really like to have that one more draft pick. You know,
make a pick, Sean. Are they going to win?
I'm gonna go Clippers by 9.
Clippers by 9. Okay, I'm gonna go Blazers by 4.
Ooh.
I think we pull it out. I think we out rebound them.
Ooh.
And then I think so. Then that we have to play the Suns in the play-in. I think we're going to the playoffs. I have switched my earlier prediction. I think we're going to the playoffs, and I know the pick. I think team building wise, we should want the pick.
Yeah. But again, I mean that it's a stacked draft, but it's a draft that's full of like 6'4" guards.
Well, you can have the most stacked draft in history, and if you don't make the wrong pick, you just never know. I mean, you never know, and so we'll see. All right, well, it's good to be back here with you. I can recommend any number of books.
I was sort of looking at that.
Look at this. I got the entire. This is like the entire bound collection of Parish Reviews.
Yeah, that's great.
This is a mug.
Okay, I know it's not organized by color, which I appreciate.
Sort of. You know, there's a white theme here and a
are
yellow.
Like matching sets back there.
Some blue back here and stuff. Yeah. It's fake.
Oh,
yeah. When I was drinking my coffee and the mug like disappears.
Yeah,
it looks like that Harry Potter invisibility quote.
That's the thing. We need some sponsors so we can start yassifying.
I know. Yeah. So sponsor us.
Yeah, we need the help.
Listen, if I was getting paid for this, I wouldn't miss a week. I'd be doing it from the hotel room in Vancouver.
Sure.
Whole family just sick in the background.
Sure. Well, yeah, you can edit those out.
You can edit that out.
Sure.
Just pale. You can be like, Tim, are you okay?
That coffee mug seems to be throwing up behind you. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Thanks as always, Puma Distortion. We'll see you soon.
Get this man some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
A Blazers podcast.